Thank you for listening to the Token Market Podcast. I'm your host, Gavin Knight. We feature projects in the cryptocurrency space and ICOs. Please make sure to do your own due diligence before engaging in any project. I'm here with Chris Marjalik, CEO of Monaco, and Rafael Mello, the CFO. They're having an ICO currently. You can find out more at mona.co. That's mona.co. So why don't you guys tell me how the project got started, when you decided to sort of work on a credit card slash debit card for the space?
First of all, Gavin, thank you for having us here. We really appreciate it. So we started working on the app around 1 year ago in June last year. And the initial value proposition was to be able to give our users the ability to send and spend money globally at perfect interbank exchange rates. So from the get-go, we wanted to have an app that acts like a multi-currency account and a card, either Visa or MasterCard, to give users extra usability and access to their funds anywhere those big schemes are accepted. So we've worked on this for a while now. Actually, it's a complicated product to build and launch, and over time we also added support for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether, because we didn't see a product that would kind of combine both the functionality of fiat currencies and perfect interbank exchange rates and the ability to support cryptocurrencies in a single product. So why should you download Monaco app and get the card? Is actually very simple. For every 500 euro you spend on our card, we will save you on average 30 to 40 euro in FX and exchange rate fees. So banks and credit card companies are very sneaky. They charge a lot of hidden fees, cross-border fees. They give you bad exchange rates. With our card and app, not only can you top it up with Bitcoin and Ether and soon other ERC20 tokens, but you can just get the same exchange rate that when you're paying for your Starbucks coffee in Tokyo as you would get as a Goldman Sachs trader that moves $1 billion a week, right? So it's a pretty unique value proposition, and the ability to save so much money, I think, is going to drive a lot of word of mouth after we go live, and allow us to keep our customer acquisition budget at the very minimum. It's all going to be driven by people recommending us to each other.
Do you see Monaco as sort of a travel companion? So if you're going to different places in the world, you can get better exchange rates as you spend. So you could load up dollars and go to Japan or so not just a cryptocurrency use case, but also for people that are traveling abroad, trying to save money with the exchange rates.
Absolutely. So what we are doing basically here is bridging the gap between the world of crypto and fiat currencies. And if you're not into Ether and Bitcoin, you still can get tremendous amount of value anytime you spend in foreign currencies. But if you've got cryptocurrencies in your wallet and you want to spend it in the best possible way, we are your number one choice. And our solution allows you to top up half an Ether, for example, to your account. And when you pay for your dinner with Visa Monaco card, we are going to give you a real-time exchange rate, right? And on the fly, you can see exactly how much Ether was debited from your account at that moment, and the rest of it just sits in your wallet and continues to appreciate. So this is one of we're actually like building a product for ourselves here. This is the kind of basic functionality that we wanted, so that we can just spend in incremental amount of cryptocurrencies while letting all the rest just sit there and appreciate, right? And absolutely, travel segment is one of the top use cases for our product. The outbound travel market globally is a $2 trillion opportunity. So it's just absolutely massive. For us specifically, we are going to target heavily the Chinese outbound travel market. So there's around 100 million travelers coming out of China, and China itself is one of the largest cryptocurrency markets in the world. So those two things overlap, right? But definitely people who travel and spend money globally, this is our target customer group.
And I see your COO has some experience in China. Is that going to kind of help you get into that market? I know it's kind of there's kind of an ongoing thing, like in America at least, where China's this place that's impossible to get into. So are his connections gonna help you take advantage of that opportunity?
So look, Bobby, who's been with us, he's been involved in the product since September last year, and he's basically our MD for China. We are in the process of setting up an office in Shenzhen where our R&D is going to be. So all the engineers are going to be sitting in a Shenzhen office just across the border from Hong Kong. And well, Bobby is a great guy. He's very well connected in the startup and technology industry. He used to work for China Renaissance, Huaxin. It's the most famous boutique investment bank that focuses on raising capital for startups since 2006. They raised money for companies like JD.com, for example, their first big round, and they were the lead underwriter on their IPO later. Bobby personally worked for such deals as, for example, the merger between Didi Kuaidi that occurred, I think it was around 2 years ago. 2 years ago now, they're called Didi Chuxing. But this is the Uber of China, right? It's a $60 billion company. So he's really well connected. He's a young guy, but with excellent experience that he's going to help. His network is going to help us in China, and we're going to be perceived as a company that's fairly local. I mean, the HQ is in Hong Kong, right? But actually, we're going to have a substantial presence in China with our R&D center.
Yeah, obviously cryptocurrency has been big in China, and not a lot of companies have been able to cross over, but some of the decentralized things like Ethereum is big in China. Obviously, Bitcoin is big in China, so I could see that as being very valuable. So let's talk about the token for the ICO. What exactly is the functionality of this token, and why do you think it's a good proposition for people to pick up?
So when we were thinking how to structure the ICO and the token itself, first and foremost, we wanted to make sure that there is a connection between the performance of the underlying business and the price of the token in the market. So how we achieve this is basically every time you top up your Monaco card in Monaco account with Ether, Bitcoin, or later other ERC20 tokens, and we spend it, we charge you a 1% license fee denominated in that token that you use. And then we automatically send it to an asset contract sitting on Bitcoin that will accumulate all those incremental payments over time. So the owners of the MCO token, which we are currently creating in the ICO, are going to have a claim over the tokens that are going to sit in the asset contract, right? So let's say that 2 years from now, there is $200 million worth of tokens from those 1% license fees in the asset contract, and then the market cap of MCO token is 180 million. So obviously, the market will push up the price to basically align it with the value of the asset contract, because you can just simply buy the MCO token and then redeem it for a pro rata portion of the tokens that are sitting in asset contract. I know it sounds very complicated, but it's actually not really complicated setup. Everybody can see online how much what is the value of all the tokens that are sitting in our asset contract, right? It's going to be public, and you can just go to CoinMarketCap to see what's the market cap of MCO after it starts trading, and you can easily figure it out. So there is going to be you can say a certain level of support for the price of our token in the market. I think it's over a long time. This is going to create tremendous amount of value for those guys who participate in our ICO or who buy the MCO token on exchanges next month.
So is there a rarity to the token, a cap? So how are you calculating the number of tokens, and what are the sort of basic goals for the sale?
So our basic target is to hit 150,000 Ether contributions over the period of 30 days. The minimum goal was 5,000 Ether, and that's what we actually need. So this is like the absolute bare minimum that we need to get the product to the market end of August. We actually launched the ICO with a super short notice to everyone, just like 24, 48 hours. So without any pre-marketing at all, without pre-selling any tokens at discounts, nothing of that sort. We just launched and thought the product is going to defend itself, and there's going to be demand simply because it's such a useful product, right? So we hit the minimum goal in around of 5,000 around an hour and a half. Within the first 24 hours, we were at 10,000. Now we're at 17,000. So the momentum is there, and we think we can hit our goal within the 30-day campaign time frame. I think it's also worth mentioning, why we basically went to the market with such a short notice and without doing any pre-marketing. This is very unusual for an ICO. Most of the time, people are going to do a month or two of really strong pre-marketing and building up the hype, and then open the ICO and close it in 15 minutes. This is the standard modus operandi right now. So with us, we actually initially planned to launch it in July, but we found out that there's a competitor who basically copied kind of our concept 95%, and they want to do an ICO in June. So we just rushed it to the market. Rafael, maybe you can tell about it. How did we actually came to know about that competitor?
Yeah, I think we are well connected with the Visa people in Asia. So we are always invited to their events, and we always participating on networking. So one of these events, I was there, and I got to know someone. I met someone that was working on a project which is similar to ours, right? And like Chris said, the target was to have the ICO by July. So we feel that we were working on the project for about a year, and we were just kind of ready to launch the ICO. So why would we wait and see somebody else which could have launched it before we do, right? So we get together as a team, the four of us, and say, listen, let's do it in a slightly unusual way. No pre-marketing and very little time, but we managed to put it together, and then it's live since last Thursday.
Yeah, so basically you can think about it like this. Obviously not everybody in the community liked it. We got a lot of backlash in the first few hours, but we took it in. We understand where the community is coming from because it's pretty rushed, but we do think that we have a very strong entrepreneurial team with track record behind this project. And we do think that we have a fantastic product. And all we did was simply being 100% open and transparent about our backgrounds, who is involved in it. We've got some heavy hitters on our advisory board, including people from AWS, from ex-Visa, from people from Adyen, approaching like a $10 billion valuation in another fintech startup. Rafael himself is ex-Mastercard. I sold my company for 21 million in 2013. So we have a serious people behind the project. So and we put a lot of work into it over the last year and a lot of capital. So all we did was simply to be very open with community for the last 3-4 days, we've very patiently answered all the questions on our Slack channel. I think we started when we launched the ICO with 0 people on our Slack channel. Now we have like 300 something. We had 0 followers in our Twitter feed. We have now, I think, over 800, right? So the response from the community was phenomenal. Obviously, we've learned a lot over the last few days in terms of how the community thinks and operates, but it's been very encouraging that people respond really well to the product. Yeah, and one of the things I want to mention also is, which I find really astonishing, is for the first 999 contributors in our ICO, we prepared a limited edition black card that will have unlimited perfect interbank exchange rates and high free ATM withdrawal limits, right? So we split it into 2 tranches. From the cards numbered from 500 to 999 are for the first 500 people who contributed in the ICO, and the cards numbered from 001 to 499 are to those guys who contribute most. So just earlier today, someone contributed 1,500 Ether just to get the card number 001. So clearly, there's already a certain level of trust established between us and the community. Otherwise, people wouldn't throw 1,500 Ethers to get our black card. I think it's just amazing. And obviously, there's one user on our Slack channel called Kosio. He said something super interesting. He said that Token Card, our competitors, they are crypto guys learning how to do fintech, and the Monaco team is fintech guys learning how to do crypto. I think this is a very clever way to put it, and we really agree with this sentiment. And we're really committed. We're really committed to learn how the crypto community works and be 100% transparent and straightforward with everybody here.
Yeah, so that's one question I've got is, there's Token Card and there's BAT, I guess it's called, and so speaking of those, how would you differentiate yourself from their products? And is the interbank exchange rate something that's difficult for other people to achieve? Is that kind of something that really sets you apart without knowing how that system works? You can't just easily replicate it.
Yeah, so we spent almost a year building the backend systems to actually provide it to our users without losing a tremendous amount of money on it. It is hard to do. And the fundamental difference between us and the other guys is this. Let's just imagine you have a token card in your wallet and a Monaco card in your wallet, right? And you're paying for a dinner, right? And on one card, you're going to save 5%, 6%, 8%. And on the other card, you're gonna save nothing. So which one are you going to choose? We think that our customers will vote with their wallets. That's the first principle. You need to have a strong commercial incentive for people to switch, not only from other, cryptocurrency debit cards. To be honest, we don't really worry about that, as we don't view those guys as our competitors. We are competing for the 99.9% of the market, which is banks and credit card companies. This is where the opportunity is. The opportunity is not to compete between startups who have small user bases. We want to go after banks, right? This is where the cake is. And obviously, it's much easier if you give your customers a strong value proposition, a strong commercial incentive to switch, right? And on top of this, we just make sure that everything is top notch, that the branding is fantastic. I think if you look at our corporate identity at Monaco, how the card looks like, you wouldn't feel out of place paying with it at a 3 Michelin star restaurant, even though it's technically a debit card, right? And the way we designed the system itself, it's just rock solid. Even you top it up with cryptocurrency. The way we designed it is cryptocurrency that you send to us to top up your account is sitting in cold storage. And your Ether and Bitcoin balances are stored, just information about them is stored on our processing platform, which is a banking grade processing platform, fully PCI compliant. It has already done billions of transactions for large financial institutions and startups alike. And how it works is basically when you swipe your card, a message comes through the Visa network to our processing platform, which asks, should we accept or decline? So all we do is just check real-time exchange rates, whether you have enough funds in your Ether or Bitcoin wallet, and then we just say yes, no. There is no issues with trying to exchange Bitcoin in real time and all this like multiple operations. No, it's just a yes, no answer. It's just a few bits of data, right? So the end result is that the card will never fail at the point of sale. And this is super important because I think people who come from not from like fintech background or not from like card background like ourselves, they fail to appreciate how important it is to make this product 100% rock solid. This is a financial product, right? It's if your card fails once, let's say you're on a date, you're paying for your date's dinner, you take out the card and it doesn't work. Are you ever going to use it again? It's highly unlikely. So we spent a lot of time, like I said, almost a year to make sure that the product is absolutely rock solid and that when we release it, people will be able to use it and that they will trust it to be reliable, right? Important. This is how we build the brand.
So what about conversions between cryptocurrencies or currencies? Will this be available at some point inside of the wallet?
Yeah, absolutely. We have it on the roadmap, not for the launch date, but later in the year. And we think it's going to attract a tremendous amount of volume to our platform because we are simply going to be extremely competitive on the rates. But we don't want to do it in the early days. This is not the core focus of the project.
And what about jurisdictions? Are there places where people can't get this card? How's that working? I know with cryptocurrency, there's always regulation illegal. So obviously you're targeting China, but is something available in the United States or places like that? And do you see that in the future?
So if you get the card, you'll be able to use it globally anywhere Visa is accepted. But in terms of the ICO participation, United States, India, Hong Kong, and Singapore are excluded based on the legal regulatory advice that we received from our council. Obviously, our objective is to make sure that Monaco is available globally. And that means that we will have to be present in multiple jurisdictions. We already have subsidiaries in Hong Kong, Singapore, and the UK, and there is more on the roadmap to basically have full coverage everywhere.
Right, so the card is different than the token sale, and so issuing the token, there's some places that just don't have a regulatory framework to allow it, but getting the card you may be able to get that everywhere. And obviously, if the token goes to market on various exchanges, then it's up to those exchanges to allow you or disallow you. So I've noticed that some ICOs, they've been prohibitive, but once the token is available openly on these decentralized it's a decentralized token, then people are able to participate. So there's still time after. As you said, it's backed by the 1% license fee, and so there's a way to sort of rectify what the market cap is based on that basket of currencies. So like you said, Slack is probably the best place to get in touch. I think it's slack.mona.co, mona.co. And if you have questions for the team, you can get them in real time if they're awake and ask any questions you like. And obviously, the ICO and all other information is on the main website, mona.co. So thank you guys so much for joining.